Hello, Sharks fans! My name is Jacob Boyd, and I'll be presenting to you guys today the San Jose Sharks bold predictions for each player and how the Sharks will fare on the power play and the penalty kill. Lastly, I'll end it with my hot take bold prediction on where the Sharks will be at in the standings at the end of the year. So let's get right into it, Sharks fans. My bold prediction for each player of the 2023-2024 Sharks roster. Let me go ahead and pull up the San Jose Sharks roster here. As you can see, you have forwards Barabanov, Bordeleau, Duclair, Eklund, Granlund, Hertl, Hoffman, Cunnin, LeBanc, Giovanni Smith, Nico Sturm, Filip Zadina, Fabian Zetterlund. On defense, you have Matt Benning, Kyle Burrows, Ty Emberson, Mario Ferraro, Nikolai Knyzhov, Jan Ruda, Henry Thrun, Marc-Edouard Vlasic, and your goaltenders in Mackenzie Blackwood and Kaapo Kähkönen. It shows injured, non-rostered because, they're injured right now, but they could be pulled up at any time is Logan Couture, Nikita Hoychuk, and Mitchell Russell. And then on injured reserve is Jacob McDonald and Radim Šimić. Obviously, these last 5 players here on injured non-roster and injured reserve, those guys the Sharks will have to make a roster move in order to bring these guys into the starting the starting roster or lineup, I should say. But getting into the bold predictions, I have defenseman Marc-Edouard Vlasic. My prediction is that he will start the season on the Sharks, and I do think he will play about half the season. But my bold prediction of that is that he will not make it through the year, and one of the younger defensemen will overtake his spot in the lineup and just produce better numbers and just be a better defensive player. So this might be the last time you see Marc-Edouard Vlasic in teal. Next, you have Ty Emberson. Just like Vlasic, I think he will get in games this season, but unfortunately won't last as he's more of an AHL defenseman in my outlook. Next, you have Radim Šimić. He'll play more games in the AHL than the NHL this year, in my opinion. So look for Radim Šimić with the Barracuda and get sent down there. Next, you have Jacob McDonald. He'll be the most scratched player on the San Jose Sharks this season, as I think Jacob McDonald is more on the outskirts looking in than actually getting in. Next, I have forward Kevin LeBanc, where he'll lead the team in being a minus player and won't have any trade value at the deadline. And he'll hit free agency to try and make another NHL roster in the foreseeable future. Next, you have Mario Ferraro, who I think will be traded at this year's trade deadline, as the Sharks will notice his defense is not playing up to par, and hoping another NHL team notices him as a try-hard player, and hope that another team takes a flyer on him that needs defensive help at the deadline. So you won't see Mario Ferraro playing every game with the Sharks after the trade deadline, obviously, because I think he'll be traded. Next, you have Fabian Zetterlund. I think, he will be the Kevin LeBanc of this coming season, where he is in Coach Quinn's doghouse most of the season, and look for him to really just, not get a whole lot of time in the lineup. Next, you have Giovanni Smith. This won't be a bold prediction, but I think he'll lead the Sharks in penalty minutes and fights this season. I do think he gets in quite a bit more games than most people think, but that is my take. Most penalty minutes, most fights on the team. Next, you have Matt Benning. He'll lose his spot to an up-and-coming D-man like Nikolai Knyzhov or Ty Emberson or Nikita Huychuk. So look for that. And then next is going to be Nikita Huychuk, which will be, he'll get more NHL games played than Jan Rutta this season. Interesting take on my part, but just, looking back on, the seasons that Jan Rutta has had, not that he'll, won't play a ton of games, but he'll play, 60 or less games in the NHL this season. And that is my take on both Nikita Huychuk and Jan Rutta. Jan Rutta will only get 60 games this season because of injury. And it's not that they'll be super bad injuries. I just think that, looking at his stats from years prior, he rarely gets over the 65 game mark. So look for Jan Rutta only to hit around 60 games played. Next, you have Kyle Burroughs. He will be the second leading defenseman in points this season. And look for Kyle Burroughs to be, on that top D pairing, obviously with Mario Ferraro to start the season. But look for him to really have a good season and offensive season, that is, too. Next, you have Henry Thrun. He'll lead all D-men in points this season, and he'll be the top minutes leader by season's end for all defensemen. Next, you have Mackenzie Blackwood. He'll get hurt and lose out on his backup goalie spot, as the Sharks will understand that he is not the goalie of the future. So sorry, Mackenzie Blackwood, if you are listening, I hope you do not get hurt, but I think that is going to be my bold prediction that he will, and maybe see Eetu Mäkiniemi come up and then have Magnus Krona be the top goalie in the AHL. Next, you have Kaapo Kähkönen. He'll have a similar season to James Reimer's 2021 season, where he played well on a losing team. So look for Kaapo Kähkönen to have a bounce back year and really play well. So Sharks fans, Kaapo Kähkönen has looked great in training camp, great in the preseason. So I am hoping for a big year for Kaapo, at least to turn the corner. And then next, you have Nico Sturm. He'll score about 12 plus goals this season, and he'll also be a top suitor, in this year's trade deadline talks. Every playoff team wants a guy like this to come in and be that, grinder, be that hard-nosed player. Nico Sturm is everything a team wants in the playoffs, and I look for the Sharks maybe to make that move, since we're not going to be, a cup contender this season. It could mean that we could get a ton of value for that type of player. I look for him to be a trade asset at the deadline. I know Sharks fans, you want to keep him. I do too, but that's just the way it is. When people are coveted, people may overpay. Next, you got, for a fourth line player, that is. Next, you have Luke Kunin. He'll have a comeback season and score about 17 goals this year and have about 10 assists and play about 70 games this year. So I'm hoping that Luke Kunin can, have that type of season. It's not asking a whole lot to do that, but I do think he'll have almost 20 goals this season. So that is my bold prediction for Kunin. Next, you have Thomas Bordeleau. He will actually hold on to his NHL spot for the whole year this year and actually produce more than 40 to 45 points this season. So Sharks fans, this should, be music to your guys' ears, as, Thomas Bordeleau, this could be a stepping stone into the right direction for the Sharks' future. And hopefully he plays well. Next, you have Mikael Granlund. He'll have about 45 points this season and, be around the 10 goal and 35 assist mark. And he'll be with the Sharks all season long. So look for Mikael Granlund to really, feed the puck to those goal scorers that we have. And, Mikael Granlund, 45 plus points. I'll take it. Next, you have William Eklund. He'll have a 50 plus point season as a 20 goal guy and 30 assist guy, 30 assists. Now, this is a huge take on my part for his first full season. That would be ideal for William Eklund. I'll even take a 40 to 45 point season from William, honestly, but my bold prediction is 50 plus points. Next, you'll have Mike Hoffman. My bold prediction for him, he's going to be a 30 goal scorer, guys and girls. This is going to be a huge top line forward for us who, will put the puck in the net for the San Jose Sharks this year. Next, you have Alexander Barabanov. He'll have a 40 plus assist season, and he will be feeding the likes of Couture, Hoffman, Duclair, whatever line he is on and getting mixed in, he will be assisting on the goals. So look for him to, do well this season. Next, you have Logan Couture, who will most likely ask for a trade at the trade deadline this year. That is my bold prediction. I'm hoping that he can have a good season to his standards. Hopefully he gets healthy, but he will want to play for a cup contender, in my belief, and that is going to be my bold prediction there. Next, you have Tomas Hertl, who will have a 70 plus point season, Sharks fans. And this is going to be more music to your ears because, he's going to show the NHL why he's a top line center in this league. And Sharks fans are going to love what he's going to do, especially playing with Anthony Duclair or Philip Zadina or Mike Hoffman for that matter, because he'll be on the other end of most of those goals. So look for Hertl to have his best campaign yet. And number one, you have Anthony Duclair. My huge and bold prediction for Anthony Duclair is that he will have a 40 goal season and put the NHL on notice that he wants to get paid this offseason. And the Sharks just may want to lock him up midway through the season after the season that he's just going to start hot. And, the Sharks will have to pay him, and I think he's just going to have a great year. And the power play is going to be his best friend, and he's going to put up huge numbers. So Sharks fans, that is a huge bold prediction on my part. So go get him, Anthony Duclair, have a season, get that bag basically. But yeah, that's it. That's my 25. That's the 25-man roster. As you see, obviously we have to cut it down to 23. It is kind of cut to 23 just because of the injuries, but I added 25 in this one because some of those players will get in this year. Let me go ahead and get into my next topic, my bold predictions on the PK and the power play. My bold prediction for the power play is that we will be, I believe, the 21st ranked power play, and the top unit will definitely carry the Sharks with, Anthony Duclair putting in goals left and right. You got Tomas Hertl and Alexander Barabanov on the, feeding him, and Mike Hoffman. So you'll see a ton of power play points from Duclair and Hoffman, Hertl, Barabanov, and you'll love to see that, Sharks fans. 21st is, working your way into, playoff contention, in years to come. So hopefully the Sharks can build off of that in following seasons. Next, my bold prediction on the penalty kill is that the Sharks will be a top 5 penalty kill unit. The Sharks are always good on the penalty kill. I want to say about past 10 years, we're always pretty good on the penalty kill. But top 5 is no slouch. And, this is a huge bold prediction on my part. And people are going to call me crazy throughout this whole video. I don't care. I am happy with this. And I think this could be done because our PK unit was very good last year. And I think it could even get better with the people that we have on it now. But lastly, getting into my final bold prediction topic of where the San Jose Sharks will end up in the standings this coming season for the 2023-2024 season. If Coach Quinn notices that Matt Benning and Marc-Edouard Vlasic are not the answer on defense, and that Nikolai Knyzhov and Nikita Huychuk should be in the Sharks, D pairings, the San Jose Sharks will be number 25 out of 32 teams. And yes, you heard me right, Sharks fans. This is my bold take. 7 other teams are going to be worse than the San Jose Sharks this year. You heard me right. This is a huge take on my end. This might age really badly for me, as I may know because of where other people are putting them in the standings. But hey, if we could get the production like I was saying, if we can get those bold predictions to hit, I don't see it being wrong. So let's see what happens, and I'm excited for the season. But Sharks fans, you may need to pinch me or wake me up from my dream, but I'm super excited for San Jose Sharks hockey to be back tomorrow, at the SAP Center, and I'm just super hyped and ready for this Sharks season to get underway. And Sharks hockey is back. But you know what, Sharks fans, that's going to be it for me today on my San Jose Sharks bold predictions. I appreciate you guys stopping by for this episode. I know I'm crazy, but I'll see you on the next one. Peace.